Hello, welcome to the Moon Scarab channel. My name is Ramon. On this video, we will explore the meaning of all 22 cards from the Major Arcana. The purpose of this video is to make it easier to you by providing on a single video the essentials of what you need to understand to get started with reading the cards. You will see an explanation of what is depicted on each card. This is important because each tarot card is full of many details which are part of each message. I will also provide you with a group of meaningful keywords to the upright and reverse position on each card. You will see a zodiac correspondence, element, and numerology value. Once you understand the system, it's real easy. We all have the potential and skill to tap into the divine realm. It's just a matter of learning, applying what you learn, and believing with all your heart in what you do. Let's get started.
Card 0. The Fool. The Fool is card number 0. It's usually considered the first card of the tarot, but it's not part of the numerical sequence of the 22 major arcana. The Fool doesn't have a specific place in the order of the tarot cards. It can be placed either at the beginning of the major arcana or at the end. The major arcana is often considered the Fool's journey through the different aspects of life, portrayed on the rest of the 21 major arcana cards. 0 is the number of unlimited potential. On this card, a young man walks into the world. He looks joyful, excited, and intoxicated with a sense of freedom. He's ready to jump into the world, but he's standing on the edge of a cliff as he sets out on his adventure. He is looking upwards the sky and apparently unaware that he's about to skip off a cliff. He has over his shoulder a small sack with everything he needs. He's holding a white rose on his left hand, symbolizing his purity and innocence. And at his feet is a small white dog, symbolizing loyalty and protection that seems to either warn him of the danger ahead or encouraging him to go forward. We can see mountains behind, symbolizing challenges to come. But the Fool doesn't care about them right now. He's focused on starting his new journey. He doesn't see the dangers and risks ahead, and honestly, he doesn't even care. He wants to walk into the full potential of all possibilities ahead. The Fool is a card representing new beginnings, opportunities, great potential, and taking a leap of faith. This is Uranus energy. In astrology, Uranus is an eccentric planet known for dynamic changes, rebellion, and innovation. This card is all about taking a leap of faith into the unknown. It's an innocent, naive, fresh blank slate. It's a fresh energy. To see the Fool generally means the start of a new journey, one where you might have no idea where it's heading to, but a step with faith in the process. This card is urging you to follow your dreams, to take that leap of faith, no matter how foolish it seems. It means that it's time to trust where the universe is taking you, and just do it. Now, in reverse, when the Fool card appears in reverse in a tarot reading, it symbolizes a bad decision, indecision, apathy, hesitation, and a faulty choice. It can be also a new beginning, but one that you're not really thrilled about. Major Arcana 1. The Magician. Card number 1 is called the Magician. 1 represents beginnings and the starting point of creation. This card is all about manifestations. The main figure is depicted with one hand pointed towards the sky, the universe, and the other hand points to the ground, down to earth, like saying, as above, so below. It shows that he's connected to both the spiritual and physical worlds. On the table in front of him, there are 4 symbols of the tarot suits: a cup, a pentacle, a sword, and a wand, each symbolizing 4 elements: water, earth, air, and fire. This is also a sign that he has all the tools he needs to manifest his intentions. Above his head is the infinity symbol, and around his waist, a snake biting its own tail, both signs of unlimited potential. And in the foreground, we see foliage and flowers, symbols of the blossoming of his ideas and aspirations. When you get the Magician in your reading, it's saying that it's time to tap into your full potential. The Magician is a sign that you have all the skills and abilities you need to be successful. It's a sign about bringing into action the things that you want, because you have the tools and potential to do so. This is Mercury energy, which is about rationalizing, quick thinking, possibilities, and the ability to reason things. In reverse, the Magician can suggest something or someone who's a trickster, that you're under the illusion of something not real, something deceitful. Major Arcana Card 2. The High Priestess. Card 2 is a High Priestess. She's the guardian of the subconscious mind and your intuition. On this card, the High Priestess sits in front of a thin veil decorated with pomegranates. The veil symbolizes the separate conscious and subconscious worlds, the seen and the unseen. The pomegranates are a symbol of abundance and fertility. On either side of the High Priestess stands two pillars, Yajin and Boaz. On the right, generally referred to as the pillar of establishment, and on the left is the pillar of strength. The pillars also depict the duality of nature, good and evil, negative and positive, darkness and light. The High Priestess wears a blue robe with a cross on her chest and crown, both a symbol of divine knowledge. In her lap, she holds a scroll partially covered, signifying that this sacred knowledge is both explicit and implicit. The crescent moon at her feet symbolizes her connection with the divine feminine, her intuition, and subconscious mind, and the natural cycles of the moon. The moon symbolizes secrets and things hidden. When the High Priestess appears in a tarot reading, it indicates that you should trust your instincts and go with your gut feeling, your intuition. Pay attention to your dreams, to the signs and symbols the universe is sending you when this card appears in your reading. The answers you are seeking will come from within, from the deepest truth and knowing. You just know the answer. Listen to your inner voice. This is moon energy, which is linked to the divine feminine and our emotional side. The central message of this card is listen to your inner voice. In the reverse position, this card shows that you are not hearing your inner voice. You may be more focused on external factors or other opinions rather than your inner wisdom. It can also indicate that you are neglecting your own spiritual needs. You need to take time to connect with yourself and trust yourself to channel your inner voice. You have access to the wisdom and knowledge you need. Major Arcana 3, the Empress. The Empress card shows a beautiful woman sitting on a throne with an air of peace and tranquility around her. On her head, she's wearing a crown with 12 stars. These stars indicate her divine status and the cycles of the natural world, 12 months, 12 signs of the zodiac, etc. She has a pomegranate pattern robe representing fertility, and she's sitting on cushions embroidered with a Venus sign, symbolic for love, harmony, creativity, beauty, and grace. There's beautiful and abundant nature surrounding her, showing the connection of the Empress with Mother Earth and life itself. The golden wheat springs depicted in the foreground reflects abundance. The Empress card represents abundance and unconditional love. This is a beautiful, strong, feminine energy card that invites you to nurture. Depending on what you seek, it can be nurturing yourself, people around you, plans, or ideas. It's a strong indicator of prosperity and abundance. She is beauty, abundance, and nature all around us, but also within us, the source of life-giving power. The Empress is most associated with the goddess Venus, and it's linked with fertility and Mother Nature. She is a comforting presence in any reading and can symbolize a time when you will receive an abundance which promises to nurture you. This could be love or material things. The Empress is also a strong indication of pregnancy or birth as well, depending on the cards she's paired with. It can be an actual pregnancy or childbirth, but also a metaphorical birth of a new idea, business, or a project. The Empress assures you that if you nurture and support those new ideas with compassion and love, they will manifest successfully. Major Arcana card 4, the Emperor. The Emperor card represents the father figure of the entire tarot deck, and it's card number 4 in the Major Arcana. In this card, we see the Emperor as a ruler in his throne, adorned with the heads of 4 rams, representing his energy, the astrological sign of Aries. In one hand, he carries a scepter, and in the other, an orb, symbolizing the universe over which he reigns. Behind him, mountains, representing his determination, his ambition for greater heights, and his leadership capability. The Emperor rules with stern strength and force. The Emperor card represents rules and regulations. It's all about control, authority, regulation, and logic. The Emperor calls on you to be disciplined, efficient, and persistent when it comes to getting what you want. The Emperor is a solid, stable character. He's a grounded protector, but he also can be rigid and stubborn. The Emperor card represents the dominance of logic over emotion, and of the mind over the heart. This card reminds you that concentration, structure, stability, and focus are required if you want to make your vision a reality. Major Arcana card number 5, the Hierophant. The Hierophant tarot card serves as the masculine counterpart of the High Priestess. It's card 5 of the Major Arcana, and its energy is governed by Taurus. The Hierophant can be a little confusing for those just starting out in tarot because the word Hierophant is not something we use in the modern language. Hierophant is an old word also meaning pope, cardinal, bishop, or any other religious leader. The Hierophant card portrays a religious figure sitting between two pillars. In his left hand he holds a papal cross representing his religious status. He raises his right hand in a religious blessing, with two fingers pointing towards heaven and two towards earth. The Hierophant is a symbol of traditional values and deep importance of spirituality and traditions in life. The Hierophant is closely tied to religious institutions and their influence on your life. People had different feelings towards the appearance of the Hierophant. Despite his depiction, this card doesn't exclusively apply to Christianity. It also represents any religious denomination, cultural, or long-standing institution influencing your life. If the Hierophant shows up in your reading, examine how these institutions are influencing your situation, either for good or bad. When it comes to problem solving, this card can be asking you to take a more traditional approach. Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers. The Lovers card is card number 6 of the Major Arcana and mainly represents love, relationships, and major decisions regarding soulmate situations. The Lovers card shows a man and a woman standing in a beautiful, fertile landscape. Behind the woman stands a tall fruit tree with a snake winding its way up the trunk. The couple is beneath an angel above. Behind the man is a tree of 12 flames. The serpent and the fruit tree represent the temptation of pleasures that may take your focus away from the divine. The tree of flames represents passion. The man looks to the woman who watches the angel, showing the path from physical desire to emotional needs to spiritual concerns. The volcanic mountain represents the eruption of passion. Ruled by Gemini in its purest form, the Lover's card represents conscious connections, meaningful relationships, and choice, and typically about romantic relationships. In a tarot reading, it shows that you have a beautiful soul connection with a loved one and the energy between you both is meaningful. It can also represent a close friendship or family relationship where there's abundant love and respect. The Lovers is a card of open communication and raw honesty. It's Gemini energy. Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury, the planet of communication. The couple is naked, so they are willing to be in their most vulnerable and learn to share their truest feelings. In essence, the Lovers is about balance and duality. Being Gemini energy, it encourages you to unify two parts that are in opposition to one another and create something that is whole, unified, and harmonious. In every choice, there's advantages and disadvantages, opportunity and challenge, positive and negative. When you accept these dualities, you build the unity from which love and balance flows. Major Arcana 7, the Chariot. The Chariot is linked to the Cancer zodiac sign. This card shows a warrior standing inside a chariot. Although he appears to be driving the chariot, he holds no reins, symbolizing control through the strength of his will and mind. Above his head is a canopy of 6 pointed stars, suggesting his connection to the celestial world and the divine. In front of the vehicle sits a black and white sphinx, representing duality, positive and negative, and opposing forces. The sphinxes seem to be pulling in opposite directions, but he uses his willpower to steer the chariot forward in the direction he wants. Behind the chariot flows a wide river, symbolic of the need to leave behind the unstable flow of emotions and charging ahead towards your goals and intentions. The Chariot is a card of encouragement to use your willpower, of direction, of things moving forward with determination and strength. It's all about overcoming challenges and gaining victory through maintaining control of your surroundings. When the Chariot appears in a tarot reading, take it as a sign of encouragement by defining your objectives and channeling your inner power with dedication to make them happen. In a very literal sense, the Chariot can also represent a sign of future travel plans, sometimes even driving or taking a road trip. Major Arcana 8, Strength. In Tarot card 8, Strength, a woman gently strokes a lion on its forehead and jaw. She stares at the lion with a smile on her face as she has tamed the beast with her calming, loving energy. The woman wears a white robe showing her purity of spirit and a belt and crown of flowers that represents nature. Over her head is the symbol of infinity, just like in the card of the Magician, representing infinite potential and wisdom. This card is Leo energy, a sign of fire. The lion is a symbol of raw passions and desires, and in taming him, the woman shows that our animal instincts and raw passions can be expressed in positive ways when inner strength and resilience are applied. She doesn't use physical force, but uses her inner strength to subdue the lion. The Strength card represents strength, determination, and power. As the Chariot channels our outer strength and will, the Strength card channels our inner force to overcome and endure obstacles. When the Strength card appears in a reading, you are fueled by your inner strength, personal power, strong will, and determination. You do not rule by trying to control others. You influence and persuade. You can control situations without excessive outward force. Be aware of your needs and tame them into balance with the greater good. Nothing good comes out of acting in blind rage or hatred. Handle your situations from a place of inner power, wisdom, and compassion. Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit. In this card 9, the Hermit depicts an old man standing alone at the peak of a snow-covered mountain. He's holding a lantern with a 6-pointed star inside in one hand and on the other a staff. The lamp lights his way, but only his next few steps rather than the full journey. He must step forward to see where he goes next, knowing that not everything will be revealed at once. In his left hand, the side of the subconscious mind holds the long staff, which he uses to guide and balance him. The Hermit is a seeker of his inner voice and self-reflection through moments of solitude. This card is about introspection. The Hermit card generally suggests the need for a period of soul-searching, self-reflection, and the need for spiritual enlightenment. It's suggesting you to take a break from everyday life to draw your energy and attention inwards and find the answers you seek deep within your soul. The Hermit can also indicate isolating yourself or withdrawing to recover from a difficult situation. Sometimes, to hear your inner voice, you must disconnect and walk through the dark night of your life journey, only with yourself. The Hermit often appears when you are at a crossroad in your life and contemplating a new direction. Through meditation and self-examination, you can begin to reevaluate your personal goals and change your path. You will look at your life with a deeper, more spiritual understanding, and a few of your priorities will change as a result. Major Arcana card 10, the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune card shows a wheel covered in symbols, with 3 figures on the outer edges. 4 Hebrew letters are inscribed on the wheel's face. There are also the letters T-O-R-A on the wheel, thought to be a version of the word Torah, meaning law, or tarot, or even rota, R-O-T-A, Latin for wheel. No one knows for sure. The middle wheel has the alchemical symbols for mercury, sulfur, water, and salt, the building blocks of life. On the outer circle is a snake, the god Typhon, descending on the left side. On the right side rises Anubis, the Egyptian god of the dead, who welcomes souls to the underworld. And on top of the wheel sits the Sphinx, representing knowledge and strength. In the corners of the Wheel of Fortune card are 4 winged creatures, each associated with the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. The angel is Aquarius, the eagle is Scorpio, the lion is Leo, and the bull is Taurus. Each holds the Torah, representing wisdom. The Wheel of Fortune is essentially the wheel of life, which is in a state of constant change. No matter what happens, the wheel will keep turning and keep throwing lessons our way. We can't truly know what's coming next. We need to let go of the wheel and allow the universe to take us where we need to be. Jupiter, the planet that corresponds to the Wheel of Fortune tarot card, is a planet of growth, expansion, healing, prosperity, and good fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is also known as the Wheel of Karma and reminds you that what goes around comes around. Factors outside your control are influencing your situation. This card can show a critical turning point in your life. You can't control the powers of the universe, but you can definitely grow your understanding of your role in this life and the universe. Remember that there is nothing to fear. Everything will work out according to divine intervention and timing. Justice. Justice is typically the 11th card of the Major Arcana, although it can be card 8th in other tarot decks. The Justice Tarot card depicts a figure sitting between 2 pillars, just like what we see in the Hierophant and the High Priestess tarot cards. The 2 pillars symbolize her authority, balance, and power. Between the 2 pillars, a boundary has been created with a cloth veil. The figure's crown represents her power and authority in decision-making. The sword she carries indicates her ability to take firm action and final decisions. The scales represent her balance and firm decisions. A little white shoe pops out from beneath her clothing as a reminder of the spiritual consequences of your actions. The Justice card is about fairness, doing and giving what's right, cause and effect, as well as balanced thought and action. Furthermore, this is a card about karma and justice being served. The right or wrong made will be reciprocated. What goes around comes around. Sometimes the Justice card indicates a complex or difficult decision that needs to be made. Justice represents clear, logical decisions. This card can also suggest having to deal with legal matters itself. And at the end, it's all about clarity, truth, balance, and fairness. Major Arcana card 12, the Hangman. The Hangman shows a man suspended upside down from a tree. Despite the uncomfortable position, the Hangman appears to be relaxed, viewing the world from a completely different perspective. His facial expression is calm and serene, so it seems that he's in this position by his own choice. He has a halo around his head, symbolizing enlightenment. His right foot is bound to the tree, but his left foot remains free, bent at the knee and tucked behind his right leg. His arms are bent, with hands behind his back. The Hangman can represent a period of total stillness. Listen again. Total stillness and contemplation. This card is a very spiritual card. It's acknowledging a new spiritual awakening. This card can also suggest an apparent state of limbo on a situation. More will be revealed, but for now, this card suggests a period of contemplation and endurance. Often, this card will show up during a time where you must wait before answers reveal themselves. Sometimes it's an uncomfortable position to be in, but the Hangman's relaxed manner, in the face of being turned upside down, is a challenge to find a way to cope with the process. The Hangman is deeply connected to insights and new perspectives. It can be a call for an alternate approach to a problem. The bright aura of enlightenment around the figure's head suggests that this temporary, uncomfortable perspective is worthwhile to receive the truths that will be revealed. Your enlightened awareness can give you a new perspective on the matter. Similarly, this card can represent a state of being between two worlds. This is Neptune energy. In astrology, Neptune is the psychic planet of ideas, intuition, spirituality, and compassion. It's the domain of dreams and delusions. Just because it feels difficult, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong. Major Arcana card 13, Death. On this card, an armored skeleton rides a white horse. It's the personification of death. It appears before a crowd holding a white flag with a rose. In the foreground, a king has fallen underfoot with his crown knocked over. A bishop prays for mercy. Another figure in the chaotic scene turns away from death, having possibly fainted. A small child looks directly at the rider. Beyond the dramatic scene, on the background, there's a ship sailing peacefully in the river behind the chaos. Life moves on as usual. The sun rises beyond the outer bounds of the city. This day will end and another one will begin. The sun beyond the city pillars suggests a transition into a new passage of life. The Death card is probably the most feared and misunderstood of the cards in the tarot deck. It's a card about endings, passages, transformation, initiation, and changes. It can actually be one of the most positive cards in the deck. After a period of pause and reflection with the Hangman, the Death card symbolizes the end of a major phase in your life that's no longer serving you. You must close one door to open another. It shows a time of significant transformation, change, and transition. You need to transform and clear away the old to bring in the new. Any change should be welcome as a positive, cleansing, transformational force in your life. Also, in a literal sense, death can also mean death, but the essence of the card has elements of a sudden and unexpected change. As a symbol of beauty, purity, and immortality, the black flag in the Death card is adorned with a 5-petal white rose. Number 5 in this context indicates change and transformation. The combination of these symbols reveals that death is more than just the end of a person's life. Death is always followed by new beginnings, fresh starts, rebirth, and transformations. This is a very positive card, so don't be scared about it. Major Arcana 14, Temperance. The Temperance card shows a large angel with wings outstretched who pours water from one cup into another. The figure stands with one foot on the ground and the other foot dips into the water, representing the need to stay grounded and the need to be in flow. In the background, there is a winding path up to a mountain range, reflecting the journey through life. Above the mountains hovers a golden crown encased in a glowing light, a symbol of taking the higher path and staying true to one's life purpose and meaning. Temperance is the card of bringing balance, patience, and moderation into your life. You're being invited to stabilize your energy and allow life to flow through you without force or resistance. It's time to recover your flow and get your life back into order and balance. This is Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius energy manifests through enlightenment and truth-seeking. There is alchemy with Temperance. This card is about blending, mixing, and combining diverse elements in a way that creates something new. There is an important lesson to be learned from the Temperance card. Things will always be in and out of balance. The process of balancing yourself is something you should always cultivate. This is an angel card as well. Higher forces of guardians are helping you to keep things in balance. Finally, this card can also represent a time of calm and harmony. Major Arcana 15, the Devil. The Devil card is the 15th card of the Tarot's Major Arcana. It represents the material world, control, subjugation, and temptation. A horned figure crouches on a stone pillar. His appearance can be linked to the devil, a satyr, the Greek god Pan, or the occult representation of Baphomet. He has a white inverted pentagram between his horns. The devil holds up his right hand as if to stop the viewer, while his left hand holds a torch downwards. Below the figure are a man and a woman, both naked and chained to the podium on which the devil sits. They appear to be held against their will, but if you look closer, you will notice that the chains around their necks are loose and could be easily removed. Each has small horns on their head, like the devil's. These figures are mirrored to the lover's card imagery. The woman's tail is a cluster of grapes, which suggests the forbidden fruit of the Garden of Eden, temptation, and alcohol. The man's tail is a burning flame, lit by the devil's torch, suggesting uncontrolled passion or anger. The darkness that surrounds these figures suggests that this scene is playing out in a dark, hidden place. This is a very toxic energy. Along with controlling, it can represent feeling trapped, but trapped willingly, because they can easily break away from the chain. The Devil card represents a negative force that constrain you and hold you back from being the best version of yourself. Just as the Lover's card speaks to duality and choice, so too does the Devil. It often appears when you have been tricked into the false illusion that you have no control over those negative forces and that you can never break free from them. Unhealthy attachments can turn into an unhealthy dependence on people or things if you lose the connection with your inner guidance or don't protect your emotional boundaries. The message of this card is, you can break free from any negative and toxic energy surrounding you. Major Arcana 16, the Tower. The Tower represents a sudden change that shakes your foundations. On a dark night, lightning strikes on a stone tower on top of a rocky mountain, sending two people into a freefall, head first and arms outstretched. The building begins to be consumed by flames. The tower represents change in the most radical and momentous sense. It is for this reason that the card itself visually looks so unnerving. At the heart of this card, its message is foundational, groundbreaking change. When the Tower card is upright in a tarot reading, it represents a sudden, massive change. You will have to abandon the past, maybe go through a period of upheaval, but you can take advantage of the catastrophe to build something better where your old tower stood. The kind of event that the Tower card marks does not have to be something terrible, like a disaster or a great loss. Change itself is a normal part of life that one has to embrace, but it can sometimes strike fear because it means that we must abandon the truths that we have known prior to this event. This is Mars energy. Mars is the planet of our desires, actions, energy, passion, war, aggression, and assertion. The central idea is expect the unexpected because massive change is shifting your way. Major Arcana 17, the Star. The Star Tarot card comes to us in times to remind us of who we are and to have faith. It is perhaps the most comforting and encouraging card in the entire tarot deck. A naked woman kneels by the water. One foot is in the water and the other foot is on the land. Above her head is one large star, and 7 smaller stars surrounding it. In each hand she holds a jug. From one jug she pours liquid into the water, and from the other jug she pours liquid onto the land. The star embodies positivity, hope, change, exciting opportunities in the future, and renewed faith. In this way, the Star Tarot card brings about a sense of serenity and tranquility. You are entering a peaceful, loving phase in your life, filled with calm energy, mental stability, and more in-depth understanding of both yourself and others around you. The star brings renewed hope and faith, and a sense that you are truly blessed by the universe. This is Aquarius energy, which is connecting and inviting. The ultimate message of the star is to have faith, steady the course, and keep hope. Major Arcana 18, the Moon. This card depicts a night scene, a long robe with the moon shining on it. 2 large pillows are shown. A wolf and a domesticated dog howl at the moon, while a crayfish emerges from the water. The moon is a card of illusion and deception, and therefore often suggests a time when something is not as it appears to be, perhaps a misunderstanding on your part, or a truth that can't reveal itself. These creatures personify our animalistic nature. The dog represents our domestic, docile side, and the wolf shows our wild side. Arising from the water, we see a crawfish crawling up the path, symbolizing us humans who are about to set out on a long way towards an uncertain destination. The moon shines its light down to guide down the path. The towers signify positive and negative forces and our struggle to distinguish between good and evil. The moon also represents secrets and illusions. There might be a hidden truth in your life and you need to uncover it. The moon cautions you from accepting what seems to be. It may be a time to dig a little deeper and allow the light to shine upon the false notions in your life. The moon is a warning in a sense. You are the crawfish rising from the sea. If you trust your intuition and push forward, you will receive deliverance from what blinds you. Major Arcana 19, the Sun. A happy child stretches his arms. He is sitting atop a white horse, and behind the child is a garden wall and a field of sunflowers. The child's head is also adorned with a sunflower crown. Sunflowers traditionally symbolize happiness and hope. The sun itself shines above the scene. The sun is a symbol of illumination, happiness, hope, and positivity. The child represents the joy of being connected with your inner spirit, and his nakedness is a sign he has nothing to hide and has all the innocence and purity of childhood. The white horse is also a sign of purity and strength. The sun is one of the most positive cards in the tarot. If you are looking for a clear yes, this is it. The Sun card, it represents happiness and joy. It's about success, good luck, and things going your way. The sun is a life force that beams down and blesses all it touches with warmth. It encourages growth and brings things to life. There is so much positive energy in this card, it's beaming with it. This is also a good indicator card for mental and physical health. It's a card of vigor, vitality, and feeling younger again. It represents recovery from setbacks. This is a beautiful card to appear in readings. The sun is also an energetic card. It reflects a time when you can expect to experience an increase in physical energy, vitality, and general positivity. You're bursting with enthusiasm, invigorated, and enjoying a wonderful sense of good health. Spiritually, the sun represents enlightenment. Major Arcana 20. Judgment. The Judgment card shows the dead rising from their graves with arms outspread and looking up into the sky. Above, an angel blows his trumpet. The people respond to his call, ready to be judged. In the background is an extensive mountain range. The Judgment card is a powerful card of spiritual transformation. Like the Justice card is a card about karma. It's relief from a difficult journey. When the Judgment card shows up in a reading, it can signal a spiritual awakening or a time of profound insight. This is Pluto energy, named after the Roman god of the underworld, also known as Hades in Greek mythology. Pluto is a planet of intensity, destruction, transformation, and rebirth. Plutonian energy is very dramatic with painful experiences in order to shed light on truth and bring us incredibly profound growth. Pluto can provide tremendous opportunities for renewal, new beginnings, and spiritual growth. An upright judgment card in a reading often suggests introspection and self-assessment of your past and current behavior to make a life-changing decision. This card indicates that your past is done and over with, and now is the time to make use of what you learned from your mistakes. You have reviewed and evaluated your past experiences and have learned from them. Major Arcana 21, the World. The World is card 21 and the final of the Major Arcana. It's a symbol of fulfillment. A naked woman hovers or dances above, holding a staff in each hand, surrounded by a wreath, being watched by 4 living creatures, a man, a lion, the bull, and an eagle. According to astrological tradition, the lion is Leo, a fire sign. The bull is Taurus, an earth sign. The man is Aquarius, an air sign. And the eagle is Scorpio, a water sign. These signs are the 4 fixed signs and represent the classical 4 elements. This card represents achievement, fulfillment, and completion. And now you are entering a phase of closure and accomplishment. However, the World card invites you to reflect on your journey, honor your achievements, and tune into your spiritual lessons. This is Saturn energy, which symbolizes maturity and structure. The World card is fulfillment, harmony, integration, and completion at its best. If there is any unfinished business, the World card urges you to finish it, to complete the full circle of what you're trying to achieve. New opportunities and possibilities can only emerge when you conclude your previous goals. Also, the World card is one of the travel cards of the Major Arcana. The World card, in a very literal sense, can mean that you will have the ability to travel very soon, most likely overseas. Regardless of the specifics, the universe is looking upon you with favor now, and you can manifest, achieve, and receive anything you desire.
If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and share it with someone who might benefit from it. And click the subscribe button for more future videos about tarot, divination, and other esoteric topics.